Alright, hello. hello, good afternoon. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing? Let's see, ODM, yo. Zasco, hello. Drew is going to go watch an IRL cooking stream with a Twink and two VTubers, he says. Just announcing. Hubert the Mad, hello. 9 months, no, 11 months. Thank you so much for the tier 1 resub. Thank you. Harry Smallwood, hello. No Num Nums, hello. You want a Lunar so bad? You can buy one. As you are linked, I see. John Bond, hello. Rob, hello. What's up? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope y'all are having a good week so far. Have had a good week so far. Wise Donkey, hello. Mr. Kupo, hi. Can we please tune into the Twig cooking stream? I don't even know what it's about. Also, can you do that? Watch other people's streams? I don't know how that works, actually. I forget how that whole thing just worked. Triggity, hello. Blue Crayon, hello. J Reggie, yo. Hawk, hello. Pandered. 1 year. Lamp, hello. How goes it, guys? Alright, so let's get started. Oh, Mr. Clackbait. Hello. How's it going? It's good to see you. Well, if you want to watch that IRL cooking stream, I guess you can. Actually, let me see how this, can I actually like open stuff on like other people's streams and stuff? I don't know how that like actually works. Do I get banned? Also, how do I do that? Let's see. Anyway, we can check it out in a bit. How about that? So we got a few things going on though today. So I got a few things to show. We have a Lunar II to build too. So that's gonna be an Alps build for today. Also, I realized that the keyboard command just needs a little edit here. I think it has 53 gram springs or something like that. Switch films. Yeah, okay, that's good. Speaking of Lunar, I know a great keycap that is also space themed. Yeah! So actually, another thing that's happening today is that Mr. Lamb, in celebration of his big haul of key sets, is also going to be giving away a set of DCX Booper or Omnicollectic collab set called Deep Space. If you don't know Deep Space, it was also released in DSA and in GMK, but there's also a DCX release from Drop, and Mr. Lamp picked it up recently and decided to be generous and give it away. So we're gonna do a little game of marbles in just a minute. All kits? Oh, that's kind of poggers. That's pretty nice. When do you get a Kohaku? It's actually not mine. This is a client's Kohaku. I built it off stream, so it's just on the desk right now because I just built it, and so yeah, it's actually not mine. So let me open marbles, I guess. We can start with the giveaway, and then we can go ahead and I'll show you a few things that a few vendors have sent. I have some key set that I was sent from Divinity just to show people, like they basically were like, you can do whatever you want, you know, show it on stream, do whatever, you know. And also we'll just kind of like show you what it is. I have these artisans from Click.io. They're apparently collabing with an artisan maker in Asia. called, I think, Smelt Stars or something like that, and they sent a few samples of their caps. So just gonna show you guys that, and then we can continue on to the build itself. Why do you do it offline? Oh, because I had a few. So this actually has a couple of builds, and yeah, I had the option to do it offline because I also needed to clear out certain things in the queue. So I did it offline, and so like you guys can get to hear the actual end products. It's fine, right? I've also just been kind of busy the past few days to stream, so I just haven't had the chance to stream as much as I would like to. But yeah. But at least you get to hear it. So if you want to hear it, I can definitely do like a typing thingy. So let me. Okay, Marbles is like updating. So I'm just gonna open that up. Sure. Opening up Marbles. Okay, close that. I'm waiting for that to open. If it opens. I hope I win so I don't have to pay shipping. Oh yeah, is shipping covered? For, I guess, US based? Or are they covering shipping? What the heck is going on with Marbles? Why is it not running? Oh, I see. It's some kind of Why does it do this? Sometimes Marbles like refuses to open up, and I have no clue why. Maybe something to do with your drivers. Yes. Let's see, it might be open as a process in the background and it's just not opening the actual window. Oh my computer is struggle busting a little there. Surprisingly. Oh, it says it's running. Okay, should be opening. Oh, there we go. Marbles is showing up now. Okay. Waiting for this to Marbles on stream. So let's see, Marbles on stream. Oh, I see. Okay, so alright. Okay, now I have it open and just need to make it show up on the screen. Boom. There you go, Marbles. Alright, so we can just do some community maps. Oh no. Okay. So there's like a bunch of community maps, just like random stuff. We can pick a race and go ahead and do a giveaway first. So we're gonna just start the stream with a giveaway. We're giving away DCX Deep Space. So maybe we can do this seems fun. Aggressive airy air with a 50% elimination rate. Looks like a lot of people have played it. Con-US covered for shipping. If you want to enter, just do !play and enter the race. Looks like we got a twisty little map here. Actually, not like there's some. Is that yeeting boards? Oh, you can get yeeted. So I guess that's where the 50% elimination comes in. Make cap pay shipping and give to 5th place if I win. How about no? How about if you win, you just get disqualified for asking pretentious things? Alright, I'll join for fun. If I win, I'll just RNG it to one of the winners of the race. And let's start a countdown for 1 minute and 9 seconds, or 69 seconds, nice. And yeah, so DCX, maybe, you know what? Lamp, let's make it fun. Should I ping the Booper server? I have the Omniclectic server, and I can ping it to tell people that they should join because they're fans of Booper. It's totally not... This is totally not the right thing to do, but I mean, it's related, right? Do we do it? Do I mod abuse this power? No, there's only 30 seconds. Actually, I shouldn't do it. They won't make it, and then they'll be tilted that I didn't ping enough time. No, it's not enough time. It's not enough time for it. I got GMK Futuro and the Alert Kit today. It's a super nice set. Oh, I'm actually kind of curious what that looks like in real life. I've seen some of the photos, and it looks interesting. It's an interesting set. All right, 10 seconds, guys. Let's get it. Tilting is fun, for real. All right, tilting people on Discord is like a passion. Ooh, immediately some people getting yeeted. Somehow Lamp actually got yeeted but survived the yeet. So we got John Bon, Insty, and Lamp leading in the at the front, but Lamp with a decent advantage over here because he got yeeted and survived the yeet, while Frank got yeeted and died. So alright, so we follow Lamp here going down the race. Blue Crayon actually caught up with John Bon and is on 2nd place now. Lamp, however, quickly racing on the track over here. Just very calmly going down the hill here. While John Bon actually caught up. So let's follow Lamp along the ramps here. So we got Lamp going down. Lamp about to win his own giveaway. Truly rigged. I promise I did not rig anything. Looks like there are places where you can accidentally fall like that and die. Nice death, Lamp. Okay, so Lamp now cannot rig his own race, and Insty is now in the lead. So Insty in the lead. Will they survive the fall? Oh, they almost survived it and fell to their death. Too bad. Okay, next is John Bon and Harry Smallwood and H-Hawk here in the first 3 places. Will they survive this dangerous zone right here? Harry Smallwood falls and survives, goes to the next ramp, while John Bon and H-Hawk just pass through it. Hubert the Mad actually makes the fall safely. And Harry and Hubert here going across into the yeet board. Harry Smallwood makes it through safely. Blue Crayon falls to their death. Hubert the Mad following in 2nd place and going around once again with this fall that can be potentially fatal. Harry actually makes it through. Hubert makes it through as well with enough momentum to push him forward. Harry Smallwood going around the ramps over here. Rob falling right behind, and H-Hawk right behind over there. Will they survive? We'll see. H-Hawk falls and survives. H-Hawk actually takes the lead by going over the edge and into the next turn. So H-Hawk, Harry, and Hubert here in the first 3 places, with John Bon falling right behind. Rob earlier fell to their death. Someone gets yeeted, and it's Harry Smallwood. Harry Smallwood getting yeeted. Well, they survived the fall. Oh my god, they survived the yeet and continue on to the next turn. H-Hawk falling to their death. Harry Smallwood here right behind, win the lead, with Hubert the Mad falling slowly behind. Will they survive this fall? And they make it! Hubert the Mad here in 1st place. Now, what a turnaround of events. And Harry Smallwood in 2nd place. Right here, very clutch. Hubert, will they make it through to the bowl of winners? They fall into the bowl and into the finish. Hubert the Mad with the win, and Harry Smallwood following right behind. John Bond actually survived here. Jay Ritchie and Bert following right behind, and there is that guy I don't know, and John Bond, Jay Ritchie, they all make it fine. Bert makes it into the bowl, and there's this unknown person, Lightning Keyboards apparently, rigging themselves into the finish line. So we're gonna follow their path here. Will they make it safely? And they do. Alright. Hubert the Mad with the win of DCX. Can I pass to the RNG gods to the finisher, says Hubert. Okay. Alright. Alright. Hubert the Mad with the generous passing to RNG. So the final results, we have had maybe like 15 players at most. And we only have really 5 winners, I don't count. So 4 winners. So there's gonna be a, basically it's almost like double coin toss. There is, if you look at the marbles table here, it's Harry Smallwood, John Bond, Jay Ritchie, and Bert 741 here ready to win the RNG. So let's go ahead and start a quick RNG. So random number generator. Alright, so we can go and show that on the screen now. So there is our random number generator, as you can see, 1 through 4, and one of them will be the lucky winner. So 3, 2, 1, boom. Number 3 is the winner. Number 3, I believe, was dun 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 Jay Ritchie, Mr. Jay Ritchie with the lucky RNG win. Would you like to claim Mr. Jay Ritchie? Sheesh. Want to buy shortcut? Sure, why not? Alright, Jay Ritchie, you can just hit up Mr. Calamp for the deep space shipping. I believe it's Con US, so it should be pretty easy. Alright, congrats, Mr. Jay Ritchie. Alright, folks, what's happening? We're just giving away a set of DCX Deep Space that Mr. Lamp was generous in sending out. But other than that, we're gonna be building. So let's go ahead and do that. I got some things to show. As I was saying, Clack.io first sent out these Smelt Stars Artisans. First time seeing them. First time hearing about the maker. So just gonna show it because that's what they asked me to do. Comes with a little like manual, I guess, sort of, or more like their introduction and just details about their design and whatnot. It's like a, yeah, what it says right there, it's a mechanical Cthulhu based design. I believe called Cray Civilization is like the edition of this particular sale, I guess. Has those like finger column looking thingies. But here's the actual artisan itself. And I believe there's 3 different ones. Maybe I'll give these away in the future. I'm just gonna have to just check with Clack what exactly we're gonna be doing with them. But they arrived recently and they just wanted me to show it to people. So I'll just do with that. I'll just do that. So they're MX stem. They look like it's interesting. I'm actually not sure if these are hand sculpted designs. They kind of look like 3D printed or 3D modeled rather. To me, it doesn't say actually. But I would guess based on all these details, it's very likely that this is 3D modeled and then printed and then made a master out of it. It says, oh, it does say handmade keycaps though, so maybe they modeled and then added. I don't know. It's interesting, but let's show them off. Pretty nice and detailed though. But yeah, I mean, some of these details, as someone who collects artisans, makes me think that these are 3D modeled, though the details are a little too perfect and too symmetrical. And often that's a quick sign of possible 3D modeling. Not everything is like that, of course. There's some people who are just very, very talented at sculpting and take their time to do it perfectly symmetrical and whatnot. But yeah, we got like a brainy mechanical Cthulhu though. 3D modder. Yeah, what's up, Mr. Hoffy? But pretty neat actually. The coloring itself is quite nice. If this is truly resin cast by hand, this is pretty detailed. I mean, I've certainly seen very detailed stuff out there. So what I'm definitely noticing right away is that we have this orb over here, right? So that orb with the brain area. So obviously that's like an encapsulation that's separate from the design. So I'm assuming they're using that as, they're using the Cthulhu base and then putting this thing on top and then putting the mask portion of the Cthulhu on top to lay over. So it's like a 3-piece kind of design, I think. I'm not sure if this doesn't quite look hand painted though. Paint and resin cast looks very different, and this doesn't strike to me as paint. Maybe it's a mix, but it's still pretty intricate. I mean, honestly, I've seen like, I've seen Jelly Key, I've seen many other makers do like very like these like very busy like designs, and frankly, it's cool what you can do with a variety of tools. Not just not just sculpting by hand and then proceeding with regular resin cast techniques. Some of this stuff can be really nice, but stem fitment looks pretty good. I mean, like, it looks like it would fit properly on most stems. Looks like they use an insert kind of similar to Art Key. Art Key, I know they use like inserts for a lot of their stem and their butt pieces, but pretty nice actually. It looks like it also allows for light to shine through, so you would probably get some shine through here. Actually, let me see if I got my phone or like a little bright light, and I think this would probably show. Yeah, it kind of lights up from the bottom a little bit, so if you're into that kind of stuff, this could be one of those designs that you can put on a shine through sort of like design. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty neat. I personally think these kinds of like more intricate designs are there's a different audience for everything, but I think some of these designs are pretty cool to see in their own way. The more enthusiast side of the artisan community definitely is very focused on handmade products with, hand sculpt and resin cast stuff on more traditional techniques. But then there's more modern techniques that involve both 3D modeling, CAD, perhaps, printing, and a variety of ways to color. So this is definitely a showcase of a bit of that too, I think. Pretty neat. I'm not sure when they're exactly selling them, but I do remember hearing from ClickClack that they're planning on having this sort of like collab with them, sort of like similar to Dwarf Factory. Dwarf Factory is probably one of those other makers out there that is known enough. I think Jelly Key and Dwarf Factory are probably the two like kind of more commercialized sort of like artisan makers out there who like do like sort of like these collab sort of sales where like they do like key set collabs, or they do like certain product collabs with vendors, and they'll just sell at the storefront, and it'll be like a fulfillment sale. That kind of stuff honestly is totally worth and fine if you're into the themes. And I know that some people obviously are into perhaps a limited nature of artisan keycaps. So there's a bit of, a little bit of everything for everyone. But I imagine these will probably be like that vendor model where you just go to a storefront when they have their open window for sales, order, and it arrives after it gets fulfilled. After they finish making the fulfillment sale for those, or maybe it's going to be in stock. I mean, clearly these samples are, you know, here. So maybe they already made them in advance and they'll just sell them in stock. But I don't know the exact details. I was just sent these. These just arrived like a few days ago. So I actually don't know too much more than that. My hungry ass could never be an artisan collector. Okay, Mr. Kupo. The person who just earlier, I'm pretty sure I saw you posted a 1 to buy, 1 to trade for artisan stuff. Okay, bud. I see you. Alright, and then I got this key set here. This is an interesting set, right? So I got this key set from Divinity recently. So recently Divinity and I, we just partnered up as affiliates, and Divinity was very kind in sending out these key sets. So what they told me, these are called Go Master Pure Player Keycaps, and they are PBT die subs in cherry profile from Designer Studio, who is also, they've also done like switches and other things. They've also done Keycobo Metro Mixed Lights, PBT Fans Metro Dark Light, PBT Fans Metro 100, and Keycobo Vibrato. Apparently those are other sets that they've done, and you know, they're I believe they're based in China. And they've been releasing different sets through different manufacturers, and this is sort of like their own PBT die subs. So this is from Designer Studio and Junior Mars, it says at the bottom over here. So yeah, I mean, there's new PBT die subs every other month, I would say. You see new PBT die sub menus every other month, I would argue. And so it's always nice to look at new alternatives. I would say like nowadays, like we have quite a few options when it comes to PBT. Oh, looks like it already opened up here, unfortunately. But it's okay, I can just... These are novelties and macro column stuff. Whoa! Look at this! It's a 2x3 keycap! Oh, it's recessed. It's recessed, too. This is like for a nav cluster. It has a little bit of curvature to it. 2x3, so perfect for like a TKL or an FRL TKL cluster. Rare. There's a 2x2, and then these look like 3U keycaps. 3U, and that's 1.25U and 1U. So these are just spacebar kit sort of. And then let's take a look at the actual base kit. Do you see the Yakult keycaps? No, I don't think so. Alright. So the keycaps just comes with a sleeve. So the sleeve here, Pure Player, designed by Junior Mars. Definitely gives that retro lights sort of vibe. And let's see. Oh, a different font choice. So this is like not very GMK like. Kind of reminds me more of like that Osume sort of style with the lowercase and the icons. So look at that. It's all lowercase for the legends here, and then like thin legends, and uses like that like modern styling of icons. Except they are top left justified for some, like, you know, for alignment, centered for enter and backspace. Pretty clean. Frankly, if you are looking for something different, this could be a pretty decent choice. Looks like the bars are not scooped here. I would say, like, personally, these bars do feel very light, not very noticeable for the homing bars here, but clean and different. It's definitely something that they're going for. I can appreciate that, to be honest. I do think that with the current saturation of key sets, it's always a good idea to diversify from the status quo. So I appreciate it. Alright, And not to mention they're probably offering this at a pretty good price point. I believe Divinity has these listed up as well. Oh, these are not scooped and not barred F and J. So these are if you want basically no homing keys, that's an option you get. Compatibility wise, looks like we get UK ISO. There's numpad stuff. There's 7U, like 1.5U and 1U stuff. ISO, there's just regular ISO stuff. We have a variety of 6575 compatibility over here. Alternative numpad stuff, as well as a separate B for those who want split spacebar, step caps lock, full R3 control. And oh, we got accents. We got some accent keys. Looks like we have a nice this color, so this light blue and the light green kind of remind me a little bit of the Real Force accent colors. The one on the down arrow on the right is actually more of a gray. It kind of looks, with the lighting, it might look a little bit more reddish, but it's actually gray. And then we got those split space bars. Pretty nice accents, actually pretty good looking. And then we got novelties. The novelties actually look very clean. I actually really like these like dotted novelties and whatnot. Like this is pretty nice. Yeah, we got some bottom row stuff. That's a 7U spacebar right there. We got some media keys for novelties, but pretty cute, I would say, novelties wise. Actually, I really like how they did this. It's a good way to make it look and feel different. Diego, are you looking forward to the Olympics? I enjoy the Olympics. I mean, I enjoy watching, yeah. I don't like root for specific teams and whatnot as much as I used to a bit more when I followed a lot more. Now I kind of don't really follow specific athletes or specific teams as much. But like I do like watching it because like there's some Olympics where like you like look and you're like, holy fuck, that's like a crazy feat of strength, you know, or like a crazy feat of agility or whatever it is, right? Like these people are like fucking superhuman, and I'm just like I would never get there, but like congrats, like amazing, that gold was well deserved. So that part is fun. Like just seeing like outside of like certain countries winning or whatever, I think the most fun is seeing people just do incredible things, and you're just like, that was amazing. So that for that reason, I do like following the Olympics. I like the ceremonies, right? Like they're like the thematic kind of stuff. Sometimes it's a little bit more cultural. That kind of stuff is neat. Looking at the outfits is always fun, right? Okay, so these keycaps do look pretty nice. As I said, I do think these are recessed. Let me just double check that again. Yeah, recessed dice up PBT. The texture actually reminds me a lot of CRP, by the way. The legending is quite sharp, and the texture is kind of reminiscent of CRP's smoothness. A little bit of that OG Cherry CRP like top texture smoothness. Not rough, actually, not rough at all. It doesn't have that. It's not as chalky as CRP, perhaps, but it has a pretty smooth top texture for these caps. So some people love that, some people dislike it. I know some people dislike CRP or EPBT for certain reasons, and it often has to do with texture or the way the legends look due to the texture, like the sandblasting on top or whatever it might be. So these, I would say, they're on the smoother side. So if you like them, then you can consider these if you wanted something different. But yeah, this is a pretty clean set for those looking for something that's. This is not like a white. This is more like an off-white creamish sort of color for the main color, for the base color. So if you're looking for something a little bit warm, this is a nice set. Mr. Kevin, please. Hello. Thank you for the Prime sub, my friend. How are you? I can't wait for Vietnam volleyball. Does Vietnam have a great volleyball team, or what's the deal? I actually don't know much about volleyball, TBH. Tired, just finished touring daycares. Oof. Yeah, and the first thing you think of when you think of daycare is how expensive daycare actually is. So I hope you found something good, Kevin. That's always it's always a tough decision for parents, but I hope it was good. Anyway, big thanks to Divinity for sending that set out. We'll try it at some point when we do an MX build. That key set actually looks quite clean. Wish we could use it for today, but it's Alps, so we can't. Alright, let me go back to reading the chat here. Lowercase Legends looks sick, not gonna lie. Yeah, I actually like the difference. They're consistent too, because they went with icons for the modifiers and lowercase for everything else, which is actually kind of looks neat. I think I personally get tilted a little bit when it's like a mix of those two. Like, I mean, like a mix of uppercase and lowercase. It's like not consistent among the modifiers and everything else. So this set I actually do like how consistent the decisions are for the design. The traits look fine. I do think that set would be nicer with better better homing keys though. Homing keys are a little bit lacking. The bars are not very present. And there's no scoops, so yeah. Can we at least get some nips? Yeah. Do you guys like step caps lock? I prefer step caps lock almost always. It's actually insane. It's very highly praised and the teachers were fantastic. I think it'll be good for, oh yay. That's good. Hopefully it's all worth it in the end, Kevin. I mean, yeah. Alright, let's get to it. Vietnam's women's volleyball team is shockingly good. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Alright, let's get to this. So, we got our solenoid, we got some hardware. I think these are some of the parts for the bump-ons and whatnot. I have a PCB and plate, but this is actually an extra. The actual PCB plate that we can use is here. PCB and plate. So these are Alps. I actually need to look at the Lunar guide, so I'll put that aside. Sometimes it's worth taking a look again just to make sure I don't miss anything. And we got the keyboard over here. Daycare is cray. Near me, it's like minimum 25K a year, but more like 30. Damn. I'm over here mauling at 12. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Ooh, so looks like today's Lunar II is not anodized, I think. This is not anodized. This is like E-beige, right? Was there an E-beige option for Lunar II? I actually don't remember. I only thought there was like silver. Gray, silver, and beige. Yeah. So beige is powder coated beige. Powder coated beige that's matched to the AEK 2 with a black PVD steel weight. That's what the description is on the website. Pretty cool. So we got a powder coated beige Lunar II. Taking a quick look at it, the powder coat is actually really good. It's super smooth. Actually, it's hard to even say it's powder coated. It's so nice. The texture on it is like super consistent, super clean. They did a great job on this powder coating. Very even. I don't see any banding or streaking. No pitting. Texture is pretty even throughout. It's very well done. Very nice. Powder coat can be a hit or miss sometimes though. So that's nice. This is I would say like if I went for powder coat beige this color and this texture, I would probably do it. It's good to know though. Alright, so let's get started here. Let's get the PCB out. El Quan, hello. How's it going? I wanted to buy a Lunar, but didn't want to source an Apple board. That's fair. I mean, it's an additional expense, so that's fair. Okay, so extra parts and the plates. So it's left side USB, as you might know. So 60%, and we have fixed AEK style layout. So there are going to be 3 modifiers of the left and right and spacebar. And this is basically like a pseudo, sort of like basically like a tray mount sort of mounting here. And it will use the OEM stabilizer wires and clips. Okay. So actually, I'll check out the Lunar guide because why not? AIO3.com/Lunar2guide. Okay, Lunar 2 guide, what's in the box? Okay, cool. Double check that the PCB works, right? I should do that. Let's get some tweezers. Open up VIA. Should be on VIA. Shows up right away. Perfecto. Make a... And then open up the key tester, test matrix, and I'll also show it on the screen if you would like. There is VIA, and test it. I think it should be good, but always worth double checking everything. That PCB is so clean. Yeah, it is because it is especially nice because it uses a fixed layout basically. So like there are no like extra switch holes for things, and also unlike MX, Alps don't have that center plastic bottom peg, so they just sit flat on the PCB. So they don't that's another, you know, that's an extra like through hole essentially on the PCB that you don't need. Okay, PCB works. Amazing. Yes, this is Alps only, yes. The Lunar 2 is designed with the Alps, with the Apple AEK in mind, and basically a 60% version of it. So that's why the PCB is Alps only. So it's an Alps only build and the Alps only everything, pretty much. And the curve is meant to be matching the AEK as well, the Apple extended keyboard. And so that's why the curvature of the case is like that, to match for the profile of the keycaps as well. Okay, check for flaws, all good. Remove components, remove the plate. And I guess we can go ahead and they say install this screw, it's already there. Flip the case over, install provided rubber feet. Sure, why not? Come on. The Lunar 2 has a solenoid, right? Not only one, but two. It can have two solenoids. It's one of the first designs from Mr. AIO3 that has double solenoid action implemented to it. I remember he was experimenting with this stuff for a while, and figured it out and put it into the Lunar 2. Okay, bonbons, nice black rounded bonbons, easy. Next, all right, looks like they say stabilizers sure, and then install switches, and then basically assemble everything together, and then install the solenoids afterwards. All right, cool. So this is a tray mount essentially build, so it'll be pretty simple. So we can grab our favorite piece of foam to build on. I usually use this just because it's nice to elevate the stuff here, and it also avoids having parts here and there. So let's put this on top. I will need the clips and the stabilizer wires. So usually for Alps, prefer to do my stabilizers first. I mean, actually for everything, but once they're on, they stay there. So you can get all of them. So let's see, 2 shifts, enter, delete, which is backspace, and spacebar. Okay, so 5. Good to go. Dual wielding solenoids? Yes. So actually, I did build a Lunar II before. I did build a silver colored Lunar II a while back, and that one I did install the solenoids as well. I believe there should be a typing test on YouTube as well. I thought I did upload something, but maybe it's been a while. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so these are the little clips that are for the stabilizers. As you can see, it basically holds the wire and clips onto, in this case, the plate. So the way you orient these is that you put them on the plate. Usually the short side of the clip goes down here, and then the long side you basically compress and clip it into the plate, just like that. Pretty simple. So you can just do it for all of them. Actually, I don't know why I did that for those. Those were for the space bar, but whatever. Doesn't matter. These clips are the same throughout. So now for this, so we need to look at the wire config here. So the wire here looks like it is gonna be like that. So I think, no wait, left side. Okay, so it looks like the wire would go down, south facing, so the clips also are south facing. So put it on the bottom portion. So put our 2 stabilizer clips. Done. And do it for all the rest of them. Found the sound test from the earlier build? Yeah, solenoids are fun. Yeah, they're pretty fun. It's one of those things that you turn on for like 5 minutes, have fun with it, turn it off forever, and then when you are reminded of how cool they are again, you do that again. Basically. So for those who don't know about Alps builds though, if you're using a plate like this, you know, it's not about harvesting just the keycaps. You also need to harvest the stabilizers from the board that you're getting the keycaps from, because they are going to match the keycaps. So in order to use your keycaps, you need the stabilizers, right? There's like Matthias, which can work, but it sometimes isn't perfectly the same. So you may be struggling with the length of the wire, how they're bent, things like that. So it's always safer to just have the actual pieces from the original board that you're using the keycaps from. And you just double check that everything works together pretty much. So Capstock also has the stabilizer wire, but Capstock is a 1.75U key that honestly doesn't really need stabilizers. So I'm personally not going to install it for that one. Just going to leave it aside. And we're going to do it for all the rest. So, okay. So now, let's get some switches out. So what's interesting about these switches, so these are called SKCL Greens, and I believe these are pine. So there's different classifications in Alp switches, but I believe it's named after like the Japanese wood grading system, and pine is going to be like 1993 or older switches, and they have these little slits on the sides, and the ones that have no slits are older, like more newer switches rather, newer made Alp switches, and they are called bamboo type of switches. That basically just indicates like age. So what's nice about pine switches is that you can do restorations on them. Specifically, the most recent way to restore switches for Alps is the wax boil method. If you look up Keyboard Institute or KBI wax boil, you will find a guide for it. These switches have been wax boiled by yours truly. And so what's kind of unique about wax boiling is that it's a restoration method. So it's restores switches that are gunky, dusty, whatever, dirty, back to sort of like as close as possible to like kind of like a more original state. These were actually pretty clean already. And so wax boiling didn't do much to them. Like it does feel a little bit smoother. Like I lube the springs before I put them in, with just some oil. But you know, wax boiling means you heat up the parts that make contact. So in this case, it would be the top housing and your slider. You boil them in water for like 10 minutes. Get all the gunk essentially. You're getting the gunk out of like the surface, and like whatever residue they might have. And then you melt in some paraffin wax. So this would be like a tea light candle wax. That's usually made of paraffin, I think. There's a specific one that they recommend in that guide. So you can look that up and get that if you want it. But basically, you melt in some wax into the water, the hot water. The wax is essentially like oil when it melts, so it floats at the surface. And then using a strainer, you put in the sliders. You put them into the pot. At that point you have your fire off. It's like boiling level hot, but you turn it off, and you basically dip your strainer with the stems in it. What that's going to do is the wax that's floating in the water is going to adhere to the surface of the sliders, right? So some of that oily water basically is gonna stick to the wax, is basically going to stick to the surface of the stem sliders, and ultimately you take it out. You know, as it cools off, the wax is going to solidify on top as a surface. Basically, you're basically putting a surface of wax on the sliders. It's a very thin layer of wax. So in essence, you're kind of like applying a form of dry lube essentially. Because it's essentially cured on top of the surface. So in Alp switches, there is quite a bit of surface contact, especially between the sides of the sliders and the housing. So it's not like wet lubed MX switches where when you lube, you feel that like buttery smooth type of feeling. It's actually just gonna still have a bit of that contact, like that kind of like scratch, but the whole point of wax boiling is really restoring the switch. So if you had a gunky switch, tactiles and clickies especially, a gunky switch that was not actuating, that felt just really rough, right? Wax boiling is gonna do a pretty good job of taking all that gunk off, and then you're essentially restoring a nice layer of like dry lube so that it actuates properly, right? So wax boiling in this particular switch didn't do much. These were already pretty clean when I got them, like when the client sent them. They're very clean switches. So I found that for this particular batch of switches, wax boiling didn't really do much. It helped, got some gunk off. I definitely saw some of the gunk like kind of come off, but it was not like, wow, what a difference before and after. Certainly a bit smoother, a bit more consistent, especially like once you lube the springs and all that. It's kind of like more consistent feeling. So that was kind of like a nice Like for the bottom out, it's gonna be nice and consistent. Anyway, so for Alps, you do want to have a plate. A plate is gonna help align all your switches nicely, because these don't have like alignment pins, so to speak. So your plate is essentially your alignment guide for your switches on the PCB. There are people who also use like these alignment combs for Alps building, where you can do like half plate Alps builds, and you use these combs that you basically remove after you've lined them all up nicely. That CS match was a mistake? Oh, are you playing Counter-Strike, or are you just watching? Soren, I didn't know you played. I love playing without comms. Yeah, I guess that's one way to just have fun. How does Alps feel? So this is a linear switch. It has some scratchiness to it, right? You can kind of listen to it. Alps in general is a very different switch compared to Cherry MX or like MX-like switches. So in a way, you kind of have to try to know, but they just have a very different kind of like sound profile, very different feel-wise. Like I think I would say like you'll use, I think most of the times I find myself feeling that MX is the better linear switch as far as smoothness and whatnot goes. But if that's not your priority, right? Alps makes really great clickies and tactile switches in particular. The linear ones are also nice, but the travel is a little bit different in feeling. So you just have to keep that in mind. And so yeah, I mean, I think the best way to know obviously is just to try it out. But yeah, it's definitely a pretty different experience. I forget what the exact travel distance is for the switches, so I actually need to look that up on like the wiki or something. This gotta straighten out some of these pins. They're a little bit bent. Just gotta make sure they're nice and straight so they go into the PCB with no issues. So it's more like Topre? No, because Topre is like based on a rubber dome on top of a like electric capacitor switch on top, like and it's like rubber dome collapse base. So Topre in general is going to be like basically just tactile, right? And I think the thing with Topre is that the collapse is very like noticeable because it's resistance all the way at the top for Topre, like the dome, well, it's not in its not collapsed position versus when it actually does collapse. So like once it collapses, the travel is very quick and goes all the way down to the bottom. Alps, the resistance comes a lot from the leaf inside of the switches for especially for tactile switches. And so I would not say it's like Topre. I personally can't agree with that. I think actually there's people who really like Alps who don't like Topre at all. So that's how different they might be. I don't know if Captain Badass is here today, but if you were to talk to Mr. CBA, he would tell you that he doesn't like Topre, but he loves Alps. He's a very big advocate for Alps switches, and so will typically tell you that you know, he really likes Alps stuff, but he won't tell you that he likes Topre. Wow, loud music out there, someone. Alps sound so nice. Yeah, they have this kind of, they have a charm to them. Definitely a little bit more of that vintage computer charm because of how because of that like kind of like extra like raspiness or scratchiness to them, and not to mention just the overall like bottom out sound is a bit different with these like bigger like more plasticky sort of like housings. Not to mention like the slider itself just has a lot more like surface area that has contact with the rest of the switch, and so yeah, Alps sound is just vastly different. Not to mention the options for keycaps are limited and different as well. in their own way. Okay, so that should be enough just to keep this plate nice and lined up, right? Let's go ahead and now test our stabilizer stuff. So for the spacebar in particular, this is a little piece here. This is called a plunger, but this basically will line up with this here. And so we just have to make sure that when we install it here, it will actuate correctly. So this one, same thing, you just kind of put it into the plate, install it into the plate first. A little tight. Need to use 2 hands here. Okay, so plunger is installed on the left side because that's where the spacebar has it located. So much Alps content lately, is there? Has there been a lot of Alps content lately? That's good. I mean, it's nice to see more Alps content in general. They're fun. So now wires. So I'm gonna lube the wire with 2.5. That's what I usually do. It's usually enough to get rid of a bit of that like metal to plastic contact from the wire. A little bit of that extra rattle that comes from that, and so I usually just use 205. It's thick enough as a grease to get rid of that, and so usually just coating a bit of the wire with that wherever it makes contact is good enough. Come around to taupe. I very much prefer SKCL brown or orange to taupe. I like taupe a lot. Okay, I use taupe very often. I don't love SKCL browns actually. The leaf has a lot of resistance and it's a little too sharp for my own preference. I don't love it myself. So I know people who do though. At first I actually did like it, but I just found it too heavy to use every day all the time. So like occasional use, fine, I'm okay with it. But heavy use, I don't love SKCL browns. But on the other hand, for tactiles and clickies, so for Alps, SKCL, undamped creams, oranges, salmons are all pretty solid. I would say orange is probably my favorite for tactiles, and for clickies, blues are pretty good. White's gonna be good too, on the lighter side. Lighter click, sort of like more MX Blue-like. But yeah. So just coating the wire here at the ends where it's gonna make contact with that plastic on the plastic inserts on the keycaps. So just a little bit to coat it is typically sufficient. All right, and now this one. So this keycap will go on here. So you just want to make sure that the switch lines up, and then you also want to make sure that you're clipping in the wire. Oops. So see, it fell because I have skill issue. Let me grab this right here. Take this down a little. So some people prefer to put the wire on first, some people prefer to clip it, like clip the wire on first and then attach the keycap. I think for these, it's usually okay either way. You just want to make sure now that the attachment, so here for example, I failed to attach it properly to this second piece of the second part. So I'm gonna undo this. Raise the wire a little bit and align with the keycap and then just put it down. Okay, so now it's on. So now that's how it sounds. No rattle. That's good. If we do send some rattle, we can put a little bit more lube if we want. But it looks like this one is perfectly fine with a light application. I built an Alps Frog T-Kill on Tuesday. Oh, nice! What do you use for your switches, Mr. Frank? Floss modded buckling spring? Floss modded buckling spring is not even like a build though, because buckling spring is typically already built. And floss mod is just inserting floss into the spring. So there's not much going on there in terms of building. Like, it doesn't take, it's not rocket science to build, quote unquote, big quote unquote, right? CC live stream, but CC appears before you speak. Wait, for real? That's really weird. So is there a lag between my video stream and the audio? That must be why. I mean, it must be that the audio, the video stream is delayed right now. For whatever reason. Maybe it's a server issue? My upload speed should be pretty good though, so I don't think I'm having internet or dropped frames actually. I have like 0 drop frames in fact. So that's... You can always try doing a pause and play again. Sometimes there's a lag that happens when you click into the channel. Like when you load up. Although I wonder if that's gonna give you the ads again, which is really annoying. Hyped. I'll be picking up an SSK tomorrow. Oh, nice. SSKs are very pretty. Nice. Alright. Next one, let's do the enter key. Friend is also bringing a beam spring. Oh, nice. Friend must be into vintage quite a bit, I assume. Or IBM, maybe, specifically. My eyes aren't what they used to be, Diego. I need a big, strong man like you. Please. Please, Mason. You're not... I actually don't even know our age difference. I believe there was, like, basically none. But I might be wrong. Nowadays, I'm like, I think I'm older than most people I talk to, except there are people who aren't simply old, like younger than me. But like, I often find myself like finding out that people are a lot younger than I thought they were. I'm like, you're like 30, right? Or like 30, like 32, right? And they're like, no, I'm like 26. I'm like, awkward. And there's people who are, you know, just in general, like, I know that they're older than me, so that's fine. But, like, yeah. Sometimes I really miss the queue and I just don't know how people are aged. So it's kind of rude to ask people's age too, right? So it's like, I don't always ask. Don't want to ask either. The demographic of this hobby has also gotten younger and younger, so it's even harder to know now, I would say. How many of y'all are going to New York City meetup tomorrow? I'm actually not going. I'm actually not going to the meetup. I've been to a lot of the New York meetups, so I'm kind of tapped out for now. And also it's, yeah, just doing some other things. I'm meeting with some keyboard related people though. I know some friends who are visiting town, so I'm like seeing them, but I'm not going to the actual meetup tomorrow. Just kind of tired away of meetups for now. We've been diving into vintage kind of together for a bit. Oh, nice. He enjoys restoring stuff. Oh, that's fun. I actually need to restore some stuff myself. There's been some vintage things I plan to restore. I haven't gotten around to it. I'm not very heavily into it though, so it's like it takes me a little while to like learn about it. I'm usually the oldest one in the room in this hobby. That sounds about right. I mean, there's exceptions like I mean, I'm not sure if you know like R. Mendes. He's older. Like I mean, you know, like Poner might be in the chat, but he's older too. You know, Whaleba. Like there's some older folks in the hobby, right? But it definitely, I would say the demographic in general in the hobby has gotten younger and younger, so I tend to find most people are like in their teens to 20s. And then like up from there it kind of is like diminishes rather quickly number wise, so it kind of varies. I think I'm still in the group where it's like not always gonna know. Fuego, Petrov, yeah, Fuego, Petrov, definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's people who have, like, you know, several kids and, like, whatnot, right? Like, they're older in general. But I would say, yeah, it's definitely a minority now. Okay, this one needs a little bit more lube. I can kind of feel a little ticking on the left side here. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to use my syringe here to very carefully put some on the wire, so that when I actuate it, it's just gonna spread on its own. Maybe a little bit on the right too, but not much. It's like literally nothing, almost nothing. I think that's good. Oh, Diego, what do you think of the Joe Hisaishi concert? Oh, it was magical. It was great. I went on the last day, so Mr. Hisaishi did 3 concerts, I think, 3 in New York. I went on the last day. It was great. There are a few guest performers for the vocal portions. I believe his daughter also performed with him, so that was pretty cool. It was really nice to see, like, it was like a variety of traditional instruments, as well as, like, you know, more typical like orchestral instruments. And then there was also choir, a very varied choir, very large actually. So they really went all out with their resources and whatnot. And so it was such a nice concert. I personally loved it. Obviously, it was funny because I think Studio Ghibli stuff now, the demographics for Studio Ghibli is actually older. Right, like the people who watched the original Ghibli movies back in the day, right? For a lot of like Hayao Miyazaki's work, it's, you know, it's older people. So I saw a lot of people who came in with their children, and it was the parents. Oh, hi Kiwi. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, are you hungry? Is that why? Can you hear that? He's demanding. I would see like parents crying, or I'll like turn left and right and I see them like and I'm like, yeah, I know. That's how we feel. So yeah, it was magical though. It was so like nostalgic, so like so like unique and fun to hear the music live, right? Like it's very different. I personally get super emotional when it comes to this stuff. I actually pretty much cry in every concert I go to in general. If it's like, especially if it's like symphonic or like these renditions of like, you know, stuff that I grew up with, or like evokes certain imagery, right? And yeah, I really really loved the Hisaishi concert. It was great. The only bad thing that came out of it is that I took my glasses, like my regular vision eyeglasses, and I took them in a tote, and I had my tote during the show. Like I was kind of like hugging onto a tote. Somehow they slipped out of the tote. Like it was in a case, like in a just like in the eyeglasses case. But the case slipped out of the bag at some point, and I didn't realize, and I left. Obviously, the venue filed like lost and found. They didn't find it, and so I lost my glasses. I fortunately have an extra pair, which is, you know, thank God. But you know, pain in the ass when you do that, and you know, it's like now I already used up my vision insurance, so it's like I can't get new glasses for cheap, so to speak. So kind of a pain in the ass, right? But you know, I guess the concert itself was worth it. So I guess at the end of the day, it's not a huge loss, but it's still a pain in the ass. So, but yeah, other than that though, it was great. Loved it. Loved the concert. It was magical. I just have such a soft spot for it. It's music that, you know, it's like music that you heard growing up, and I can't help but like feel super emotional about it. I think for the space bar, it might be actually worth taking off the wire from the thing, clip it onto the keycap itself, and then place it on top because the plunger gets in the way, and then clip it using tweezers or something after the fact. Just like that. And then properly place it on top of the switch. Make sure it actuates properly. So I'm just gonna wipe on my hands here, a little bit greasy. Can't hear it. So okay, good. Sounds pretty good to me. So I think the stabs are now done. Now the best and easier part is just installing and soldering switches. Super easy. I almost cried during the Kiki song. I cried like in every single song, dude. Like they started playing and I was crying already. Like I was like getting all emo. Yeah, like everything. House Moving Castle. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Kiki's absolutely precious. Totoro. Oh. And they, you know, they also played like, you know, Porco Rosso and Ponyo. It was great. It was so great. Getting glass in China is kind of OP. They have a brand called Helen Keller. I see. Capitalizing on it. But yeah, I mean, I imagine it's a lot cheaper, right? Oh, 2 pairs for less than I would 1 pair in Canada. Sounds about right. At the end of the day, like glass are an interesting industry, right? It's pretty. There's a few like monopoly-esque sort of things going on here and there, especially for like the Luxottica brands, right? If you know about Luxottica, if you don't, I don't know where you've been, but Luxottica brands, Ray-Ban, all the fancy ones. Spirited Away goated, for real. I could consider doing that though for glasses. The one thing is I do know what my the specific design that I had was for the ones that I lost, so I might want to just get those later. But maybe later. Maybe once I have vision insurance again. Especially for these vintage switches, when you desolder them, the pins are so bent, so it's good to have some pair of pliers around. Less fingies hurt in the process too. Have I missed anything in chat? I don't think so. Oh, Rue MC did ask how old am I? I'm 53. Just kidding. I'm 31. If you didn't know. I'm sure some people might say, "Oh, you don't even look like that," but yeah. Diego is tired of people. I'm not tired of people. I'm really not tired of people. It's more so, I have to be honest, going to a meetup and during the summer is actually something that I'm not like a particular fan about, even if it's indoors. So just the whole hauling of stuff is something a little dreadful to think about too. I'm one of those humid summer haters. Like, more than just dislike, for sure. But I know I'll have to just put up with it eventually. Often. Summer this year has been brutal. It's been pretty warm, pretty hot. Have you tried Nana, by the way, in K-Town? No, I don't think so. I also have been wanting to go to that place, what's it called, Kisa? the taxi driver or whatever place. That place also looks nice, but no, I haven't had a chance to go to some of these new places. I know that Din Tai Fung is also now in New York too, right? But really hard, they're booked out as well. So there's that. And Kokodak, oh, I think I've, did I have Kokodak at some point? Yes, I know, Kiwi. We're almost there. You're like half hour early or so. I wonder if that means if it's easier to get into Joe's? Joe's? You mean Joe's Pizza? Joe's Pizza's kind of overrated. I wouldn't go to Joe's. Personally, I don't love it. It's good. It's kind of expensive for the size. It's alright. I think it's a little overrated though, personally. Oh, Joe Shanghai. Oh, I have had Joe Shanghai. I don't think I go to... I also don't think it's not my #1 choice either. It's like... good? It's okay. It's okay. Joe Shanghai, it's okay. I don't crave it. Rarely. They're okay though. Their dumplings are good. Yeah, I've had Joe Shanghai though. I think I especially like if you go and have it like in Flushing, it's even better. But yeah, rarely crave it. Fair, same. I prefer Din Tai Fung because it's a cleaner taste. Yeah. That said, I've only had Din Tai Fung twice. So, like, obviously not in New York, but I mean, like, it's highly rated. It's good. It's not a place where I'm like, oh my god, I need to go there again. Yeah, I don't think I really feel like that anymore about it. It's alright. It's good food. It's good food. But if it's like on a list of places, of choices of places to go, it's no longer in my like, oh, I really gotta go there, or like, oh my god, if I have a chance, I'll go there again. Yeah. It's a clean taste though. Yeah, it's pretty yummy. Definitely feel fine going there. But especially when it comes to like dim sum and other things like that too, I feel like there's quite a lot of new places now too, that new and old, I guess, that serve comparable enough quality that now I'm not too picky, not nearly as picky. But that might be just me being more like, I think I would personally prioritize, at least when it comes to dim sum, I would prioritize better, like going in quicker and getting good service over, I mean, by good service just means efficiency, TBH, over waiting a long line or having to go out of the way to make reservations and then going there. I think I actually dislike that a lot. Like, I dislike the whole, like, gotta make my reservation 10 billion years in advance, and then go, and then you don't know what to expect, or, like, you still have to wait anyway because everything is reserved, and people are slow eaters or whatever, or they bring, like, their 10 billion family members. and you have a reservation, but you still have to wait. I'm kind of over that now. As far as like when I'm picking places, I would rather go somewhere that's reliable and efficient in service and good enough food over the best, but I still gotta jump through a lot of hoops. Maybe it's also because eating out has become more expensive. I think that might be a big reason too, because eating out has gotten so much more expensive now. I mean, not that groceries haven't become any expensive. I mean, it's become a lot worse with the inflation in the past like 3 years. But eating out has become so much more expensive that I feel like jumping through hoops makes it really not feel great when it comes to dining experiences. Yeah, it's more expensive. The quality is kind of down. Like there's a bit of that shittification and inflation at the same time. It's a bit of a hit miss. Namwa, or any new dim sum place I should know about? I have to be honest. I don't go to much dim sum here in New York these days. Our usual go-to for me and my friends used to be Jingfong for the longest time. But then they closed in the pandemic and then reopened, and they reopened like right near Canal Street, and it's actually pretty good. The new Jingfong is still pretty yummy, still pretty good, and the only problem is the wait is really fucking long. And even if it's not that long, it's still long enough to not make it very desirable unless you go really fucking early in the morning, which is not something I want to do all the time. It's like a hit. It's like it depends what day it is. Sometimes you're okay with that, but I would say like on a weekend, I still kind of like sleeping in a little. For dim sum, it's always a sacrifice you need to make though, because But I gotta say there's not that much new in the dim sum realm for New York aside from Din Tai Fung that came in recently. But I don't think I have a go-to anymore. That's the kind of a problem. There's no go-to anymore. So now I'm not as motivated to go. Maybe that's why. Yeah, once they moved to Central Street, yeah. The article that Eater did on them blew them up. Yeah. I mean, it's also Eater. Eater features. When you're like close to #1 search result and you have an article on you, that can go either way. My wife hates when I sing this song to her. That's a very random thing, but that's fair. I don't blame her. She's like, why would you fly to Chinatown? She's right. She's right. Why would you fly? Why would you fly? Why fly? Where's the public transit? Where's my subway? Where's the metro? Wouldn't you just take a bus or walk? You would never fly there. Yeah, true. True. Unrealistic. Fair criticism. But there's some spots that my friends really recommend for dim sum, but they're like all the way out there. They're not in Manhattan. They're like in Flushing and what is that? Is it Little Neck? It's like all the way out in Long Island that people go to. That I've heard good stuff about them, but too far. It's too much of a trek to do on a weekend for me. So it's rare, but I know that people like it. Yeah, there are some other options, just not as accessible. And yeah, nearly everything in Flushing is gonna be a decent bit better, so there's that. At least for the Chinese food there. Alright, let's double check these solder joints. Looks pretty good. Alp switches definitely take a little bit more solder. Just gotta double check everything's nice. Looks good. Would also probably want to check if they all actuate without issues. So actually gonna do that now, as it's easy to test it. So let's just open that up. Oh, I think I just need to restart via. Yeah, okay. Alright, we're good. All actuates pretty well. Alright, so we're ready to put these into the case. So let's do that now. Okay. So let me just look at the build guide actually and just double check. Okay, so solenoids. Let's do this part. So align the solenoids to the solenoid bracket. So this is the solenoid bracket over here. Probably should take that off. So I think actually for that I do need a key to take off the solenoid bracket. Actually, let's see. I think the easiest way to get the solenoid bracket is to get to the weight, take that off, and then remove it from behind. Okay. Okay, so just get there. These are the screws for the bracket. So now need a P6. Remove our bracket. And gotta make sure to install these guys now. So these are the solenoids. So these two install, let's see, wires go inward like this. And let me look at this like that, according to the diagram on AIO3's website. So we grab our screws and proceed. this way. Okay. Okay, solenoid bracket is ready now, and it gets installed to the back of the weight again. Wow, that car is very desperate. It's installed like that. Okay, and now the weight gets reinstalled. Just gotta be careful nothing gets pinched. Hello, Amarade. How are you? How's your week? Okay, solenoid installation's complete. And now we use... we need to get our... Where is that? Here they are. Provided ring gaskets goes on top of the tray mount portions. Just 4 of them. Simple as it gets. Four of them. And now the back of the PCB also gets a conductive foam pad on the part here. Just to prevent any accidental shorting. So now solenoid A and B. There's doesn't have a... Okay. Make sure that you center the connector in the correct orientation. Okay. Goes in like that. A and B. Superb. And now just make sure that we take care of the cables underneath and install our assembly. Voila. Then these are our plate mount screws. Just gotta be careful. Oop, okay, well, I'll have to reinstall that keycap. Shortly. Where is this one? Gotta done that, but didn't. I really want to try Alps. Yes, Kiwi, in just a bit. Very soon, actually. Almost done here. He's so desperate now. Poor boy. Okay. I love you, Kiwi. I really want to try Alps, but don't have the time to do all the steps to mod them. It's not too bad. It's a little few extra steps, but it's not as convoluted as you really think. I think MX is actually convoluted as it is too. It's just more that it's so ubiquitous now. So it's like a lot of resources out there, a lot of guides, you know. But yeah. And yeah, Jambon, I agree. Like, this is a tray mount board, but these little simple gaskets really soften a lot of the typing feel, and they really make it feel very good. So yeah, it's the Lunar II is really such a nice board. All right, so we got our keycaps, some AEK. Do the case standoffs sit on the PCB like a normal tray mount, or pass through the PCB and sit on the plate? The two that are here in the middle actually do the PCB does have holes, so they do pass through, and then it's the plate that sits on top of the standoff, but between the standoff and the plate is a small ring gasket, Rob. So that's what actually that's what's actually on the between the standoff and the plate. Okay, I believe it's Control Alt Command, right? Looks like we got some Japanese sub-legend caps. Today. That's what I was sent. Yeah, so the gaskets really are going to do plenty of work in softening the typing feel of that part. Of the entire assembly, really. Are these keycaps harvested from Apple's keyboard? Yes, they are from an Apple extended keyboard 2 AEK 2. This particular one, I guess it has these Japanese legends. But yeah, these are harvested from that. The colors match very well, so the case was actually color matched to AEK 2 cases. So it's going to match. The powder coat is supposed to be a match to the color of the case. With the keycaps. I mean, the original case, which is, you know, going to be as perfect as it gets for the keycaps. And of course, the spacebars are a little bit yellowed because, you know, exposure to UV, but it's part of the charm, I guess. Oh, Kiwi. He wants food. He wants to be fed ASAP. Where's the... Okay, here's a K I'm missing. And I'm missing an I, right? Oh, here. Is this SKCL Green? Yes, these are SKCL Greens. These are linear, yes. These are all linear switches. Boss is calling. Yeah, he's like, you're almost late. It's time. But yeah, he tends to ask early, that's for sure. I did have an Alps resin keycap here. I got this nice booper blink. Pretty simple, but pretty cute to put on. Let's put that on this key. Alright, let's organize the rest here. Alright. We are basically done. I don't know if the... Oh, the solenoid is active. How do I deactivate it again? It's on the... Probably on the function layer somewhere. So let me check. It's one of those, I assume. Where's my FN key? I'll put my FN key on the right control since I never used that. There. Okay, great. Alright. Time to turn it off forever. Yeah, turn it on once, turn it off forever. Kind of how it goes. Alright, let's test this out. I'm gonna mute the mic for a second. All right, we are ready to go. We got our Lunar II with SKCL Green switches over here. Very clean build. This is a beige powder coat matched to the original color of the AEK as well. You can check out the board from a side as well. You can see that nice, very nice curvature of the board. And you can also hear Kiwi blasting away, begging for his food because it's time to be fed. And yeah, all right, let's check it out. Let's typing test full of Kiwi's begging as well. Or maybe not. All right. Can we? All right. All right. Let's get this going. All right, folks. This are SKCL Greens on a Lunar II with. Can we? Should we feed him first? Okay, he will be fed. Oh, Kiwi. Alright. SKCL Greens on aluminum in a Lunar II. He's being fed. Okay, here you go. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. How do you guys feel about it? Does it sound good to you? Kiwi said you lied about feeding. No, he's eating now. He's eating now. This keyword sounds like Kiwi. Oh, that's cute. Alright, here are the mods. With extra can sounds in the back. Yeah, I do agree. Alps in general will be very, typically people will go for the clickies and tactiles. This is a linear switch, so definitely different. SKCL Greens in particular. So yeah, very different from a standard like MX build though. So it's pretty unique in its own way. Does Kiwi approve this build? Well, he doesn't approve right now of anything other than his own food. So I don't think he's in the mood to approve anything. Yeah, and I guess with solenoid we can do that too. So I think that's to turn it on. Alright, let's try that. Alright, with solenoid. Oh, do I need to like, how do I set the frequency of it? It's like, how do I, hold on, let me see. Is this how I do it? There we go. I think there was a setting for it, but I don't remember where. Solenoid thingy. Key map editing. There's something about the solenoid, but something about making sure that it actuates at the right timing. Prefer the meowing? Me too. Anyway, we'll just do it with ish solenoid. Solenoids, as expected, loud, kind of rhythmic, but you know, just loud. It's nice, but I'll probably turn it off forever after this. So. And there it is, completely off. But yeah, pretty nice, very clean, very nice. Yeah, you try it once, and then you're done with the solenoid forever. How it goes. So look how clean that looks, though. It looks super nice and clean, gorgeous. All right, let's show off the board, the rest of this. So SKCL Green, your favorite ALP switch? No, my favorite ALP switch is SKCM Orange for tactiles and Blues for clickies. Very accessible, but very nice switches, IMO. But look at that powder coat match, though. So nice. So nice. The AEK curve. Delicious. Exquisite. So nice. And the back. Just fantastic color in this case. This beige powder coat color. Really nice, unique, and pretty cool, frankly. If you see it from the side, can sort of appreciate that. Yeah, this is a 10 out of 10 look for sure. Love how like classic vintage it feels, like, you know, captures the essence of that AEK aesthetic and improves it by a lot because at least for custom build, this is a tray mount, but it feels really nice regardless of which switch you use. Actually, it feels and sounds really nice. I do think it sounds better with tactiles and clickies in general. I think ALPs in general like kind of does benefit from their tactiles and clickies. Just has a much more unique and fun kind of sound and feel. But these SKCL Greens are nonetheless quite nice. Actually, I do appreciate this left side USB for this particular one. Just kind of a bit more of that, a little nod to that kind of GH60 look, the old school, just like left side USB poker type on tray mounts. Nice little nod, but it looks good. I know some people like center USB for their boards though, so, but I like it on this. I like the left side USB on this. But yeah, pretty good. I guess that's pretty much all I got for today. So if you guys have anything else though, feel free to ask. But yeah, SKCL Greens. Very nice looking black plate. Sounds and feels pretty good. Definitely almost these SKCL Greens, even though they are linear, like when you like type on them, it kind of feels like you're typing on a tactile, like a light tactile, but it's not. And it's not because of the action is like it has a tactile event or anything, or it's like clicking or anything, but it's more so like the sound kind of makes me feel like I'm typing on like a tactile switch, like that loudness. So yeah, Do you plan on getting a Lunar II extra? Personally, no. Mostly because I have other like I have a lot of boards. Personally, I think that's the main reason. It's just more don't want to pick up another board. If I were looking to like expand on that, like Alps kind of stuff, I think Lunar II is like a no-brainer. It's like a really nice board to get if you want a custom Alps build. And it's probably the cleanest, and yeah, I think right now it's probably like the best Alps board out there for customs. Yeah, so I would probably get one if I really wanted one. Yeah, I think right now I just am abstaining out of being responsible. Yeah, I'm trying not to get more, even more. Rather, do you get a Type K? I ended up not getting one. I thought about it a lot. I even like got like some of the gift cards when they did that, and was like, I'm totally gonna get a Type K, and I ended up not getting a Type K. Yeah. I think the main reason for me was I just don't use ergo like boards nearly enough. So I was like, I'll admire it from afar and appreciate it for people who bring it to meetups and such, but I actually just didn't think that I was gonna end up using it myself as much, so ended up passing on it. Love how it looks though. It's such a cool board, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think I was like, I think I'm okay with not having ownership of one. Yeah. Will you get me one? Let me get a job first. I'm currently looking for jobs, so I need to get a job ASAP. Trying not to do work, so this helped a bunch. Great. Glad I was a good distraction. 2 more hours left till the weekend. 2 more hours, I guess, if you're out there in the other coast. For me, the weekend I guess starts now, but yeah. Alright, gonna go ahead and see if anybody else is streaming. If not, that's fine. But if anybody else is, we can go and shoot a raid over. I don't think I see anybody in keyboard. Oh, actually, I see Mr. Yuri doing a stream. Mr. Yuri, for the win, he's a Spanish streamer. He also builds keyboards, and he does builds often, and he also rates this channel often, so it's good to pay back that favor. So you can shoot over a raid to Yuri. What are your skills? I'm in image processing and algorithms. That's kind of like what I did my main work so far on. Algorithms, image processing, medical imaging, optical imaging, things like that, physics, EE, biomed, that kind of stuff. So I'm looking in that field. Actively looking though. So if any of y'all wanna hit me up about jobs, hit me up. All right. Anyway, I don't mind. All right. I'll see you guys later. Let's go rate Mr. Yuri. We'll do the raid message in Spanish. Holy relámpagos, Batman. Es un raid de lightning. Alright, folks. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys later. I'll be doing another build pretty soon. Oh, Kiwi wants to say bye. Kiwi says goodbye. Say bye, Kiwi. Wow, so interesting. Look at him. Kiwi says goodbye as well. Wow, Kiwi, you're very, very handsome today. Nervous look. Okay. I'll see y'all later. Take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend, everyone. And stay cool. And take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.